Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Saturday show. Wow, we wore the same shirt today. I just noticed. I know it's kind of strange. We've been working together all day, and we worked outside all day today. Got wet because it rained. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful. How do you do the most expensive backup camera ever? Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
You did it on a Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But what's up, everyone? Oh, hey, Joseph.
Joseph is Norton?
Yeah, Mr. Norton. But good evening. What's up, Car Gift? How's it going? Christian, what's happening?
What's going on?
Hope everyone is going well. Uncle Bobby B, baby. Okay, so how many guys remember where we came up with Uncle Bobby B? Obviously, he's, everyone calls him Uncle Bobby B now. I mean, that was the Transformers. And when he used to be on the live show, and it was just clicking in my head, and Bernie Mac going, Uncle Bobby B, baby, Uncle Bobby B. And so it just, Anyways, I don't know why. It's got a trip down memory lane, actually, every now and then. Hey, I'm actually going to make it. There you go, right?
Perfect.
Hola. What's going on? Pacific Northwest, checking in.
What's up?
How you doing today, Fernando?
Oh, amazing.
Evening. Yeah?
Good evening, guys.
Hello. Another hello. Good evening from Holland.
I like Holland.
Never Do you?
Been. Yeah.
Yeah, wood shoes and windmills?
Yes.
Sure. I mean, I'm down. I mean, trust me, I'd
just gonna go and visit,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
We should plan that.
We should plan that. First class, all the way.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, Wisconsin.
I'm going to first class.
I'm going to the last class. Hello from Wisconsin. Although exciting, just doesn't have the same feel as Holland. Although we got cheese, lots of cheese.
Perfect. There you go.
Good cheese,
Car Gifts in the house. What's up, man?
Afternoon, 67 and sunny in Knoxville. That sounds fabulous. It is rather nice here, other than the rain. But thankfully, the weather, it was good.
Yeah.
There we go. Calgary checking in, 23 degrees and blue skies.
Yes.
What's up, Mike? How's it going?
Oh, doing great.
Yeah? I got 2 questions.
Okay. Maybe you have 2 answers.
1, what would you recommend for a touchscreen stereo screen so when you clean it, it won't scratch it?
How do you update
a Pioneer NEX 1770? So for cleaning it, there's plenty of, if you go on Amazon and search for
iPads.
Yeah, well, not really iPad. It's more like your living room TV cleaner, touch, those type of cleaners. So we had the Bellow, the Bellow wipes that I think we finally run out of them.
No, not yet.
Do we still have some? So we had this brand called Bellow, and they made a cool wipe, but it's a screen cleaner, and it just came like a handy wipe, and it wouldn't scratch. I mean, we would. Because sometimes people, I think they literally wipe boogers on screens. And as far as updating the 1770, obviously head over to pioneerelectronics.com. The trick is to get the right thumb drive. Usually you need at least an 8 gig. 8 to 16 gig is the sweet spot. SanDisk was always our go-to. We just have a drawer full of random, but most of them are SanDisk. And if it's a dual USB, that's the key, is that it has to be, the thumb drive has to plug into USB 1, and it's not the Android cable. So back to, Pioneer for a while there had a habit of dual USB. One was Apple and the other was Android. And if you're an Android guy and you put that one in, doing an update was next to impossible because you need USB 1 to do that. So with that being said, and that's it. Now in the menu system, there is access it. It does need to be unlocked. So the emergency brake sequence has to be done, whether that's done with a micro bypass or the actual emergency brake. But those do have to be unlocked to get into it, to get to the page that is for update. So I don't know if that helps, but that's what it is.
All right. So Red Eye, type your question, man.
Joseph says, evening. It's only 1:49 here in the desert armpit known as Helmet. It's 5 o'clock here.
It is 5. That's when we're live.
It's good.
Yes.
What's up?
What up?
50 here, and Good afternoon from South Texas. I have a question.
Yeah.
If you guys wouldn't mind answering or trying
Type
to.
All right, so this is the question.
Okay, good. I'm putting a set of 6.5-inch components in front and a set of 3-way coaxials in the rear and a sub. I want to amp the speakers, but don't know if I need an LC2 or LC7 if you want to amp my doors and rear.
Hey!
And we're back.
Somebody turned the light off, so
Yeah.
I have no idea what's
Power flickered. Okay, red eye. I need to know what kind of car this is. That's the most important thing. So please tell me what kind of car it is so that we can go back to this question. So type that information and then we can go from there. Because that's the most. I know. We lost the feed. But the feed is back! All right, so while he's typing that. So hello, guys. Dave here from Virginia. Wonderful weather here today. I sent you guys a message, but never got an answer. Someone worked on my vehicle, disconnected the battery. That sucks. Who did you send the message to would be the appropriate question, because if you try to DM us or one of us, we probably won't see it. If it was something that has to do with the retail store, that goes to Paul. That's a 5star@gmail.com. Spell it all out. And then at that point, if it's something we can get back to you on. But yeah, that would be contact Paul, and then we'll get the information. But if for some reason he didn't, then I can find out, send him again. Things have been a little hectic here because we are moving. We haven't talked about that much, but the retail store is actually getting moved, which we'll talk more about at some point. But I have a 2011 Genesis Coupe non-premium audio sound. Okay, so that gets us into integration. So what do we need for integration? Non-premium sound, so that's just going to be 4 speaker outputs. Okay, so so now that we know it's a radio with 4 speakers, now we can kind of address what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Radios have front and rear output. Now, they're in the grand scheme of things, the signal is the same, meaning what's coming out of the front and the rear, if there's no equalization, will be the same. There's no in a basic audio system, there's no magic that they do to the rear speakers. It's just the same thing in the front. They may EQ it differently. They may, just EQ it differently. They may lower the volume, but for the most part, or they might add a crossover, but for the most part, it's the same information from the source.
Yeah.
So now we have to decide, do we want our fader? Is there a reason to have our fader? If we're not doing any form of equalizer, DSP, or anything like that, we might want our fader, because that's, other than amp gain, that's the only way to level these things out. Now, if you have kids or something like that, and you want to take, they're sleeping in the back, you want to fade it to the front, right? So from that perspective, we need some form of device that will now do high level for front and high level for rear. So, because they're, again, like a DSP or something like that, some of those have controllers that you can set up for fader capability, and or you just don't care. I don't, to me, I don't know anybody that uses fader unless they have kids.
To me, I would change my radio.
I would change my radio.
2011
I would change my radio
Genesis
too.
Coupe. Change your radio.
Yeah.
You will bypass all the stuff.
All the nonsense.
And then after that, if you want to put an amplifier with the DSP or something like that, then it's better. But change your radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now to whether you need an LC2i or LC7i, keep in mind that those devices are there because they're high level to low level. So if you get amplifiers that have crappy high level to low level built into them, those are a better version of it, obviously. But if your amplifier, there's a lot of good amplifiers out there right now that have adequate high level to low level built into them. Some people like to do better. Now, that's where DSP comes in, because the DSP is a high level to low level adapter, an RCA adapter, and or a line, whatever. It's got all the things that you need. In your case, if you want to do front and rear, LC7 would be the answer. The LC2 is just 2 channels of output. And so I guess then the answer would be, actually, you could do the new LC5i Pro would be the one that you'd actually want, because the LC5i Pro is front, rear, and then it will grab the rear channel, or let's say it's 1 through 4 input is what they call them. So 1 and 2 would be rear, 3 and 4 would be front, because that's going to feed your subwoofer. And if there's any form of crossover in there, it's going to be on the rear channels. So with that being said, I would go with the LC5i if you're not going to be doing the DSP. And that brings us to this guy right here, which is our first sponsor of the show. That's right, Audio Control. Audio Control. And if you're not familiar with the LC5i Pro, you're in luck. We just did a review of it like 3 weeks back. You can go check it out, see how it works. And a lot of stuff we just talked about, we talk about in the video and give you examples of how that's going to work. So I would definitely go check out the video we did on the LC5i Pro. Plus, it has load resistors built into it now, so you'll need those. Kenwood doesn't have a DSP because they are Diet Alpine or unscented dryer sheets. Actually, they did have a DSP. Okay, so this is one of those cases of too early syndrome, which a lot of the
manufacturers,
of manufacturers are like this. They're not unique to this. They came out with the DSP 6.600, which I have somewhere up there. I have one, and it was a 6-channel amplifier powered with a 10-channel DSP, and and it had AR capability, and that is the rub, because it was basically before the DSR-1. It was the first product that you could do AR into a factory amplified system. The problem is no one really understood that back then. Like, people still don't understand amp pros, okay? So they sure as hell didn't understand AR, which was just another version of amp pro connected to a device as opposed to just preamp output. So we sat in a classroom with a bunch of people that were like, how do you use this amplifier? It's only got 2 channels of input. And it was like, of course it has 2 channels of input. It's made to do this. Well, I want to hook it up front and rear. It's not made to do that. It's made to do this. You know, because in the world it was made for, you didn't need that, because all the fader was done digitally through the bus network that was connected to the factory radio. So it didn't do so hot. They ended up just kind of clearancing them out as time went on. First, they repackaged it with the AR, because originally you had to buy it separately. Then they just said, yeah, we're not going to do this. Now, some of the behind the scenes on that was when iData was talking to Kenwood, they were like, hey, this thing should interact with your radios. We can do that. We can make you be able to control the DSP in it from your Kenwood radio. And they were like, nah, we don't want to do that.
What's up, Bobby?
What's up? Oh, he's down on the keys. So there was a lot of things that iData wanted them to do, and they were just like, nah. And then it didn't sell so hot, so now they're just kind of like once bitten, twice shy kind of annoyance. So now everybody else, you know, because Alpine still doesn't have AR capability built into their DSP, which is kind of like dumb.
What a mic.
Because they claim to be like, oh, we're all iData. I'm like, but we'll see. Because there again, that's what I keep getting told from Alpine. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Yeah. So Kenwood doesn't say anything. So we're just like, we got nothing. Boston Mike. What's up, Boston Mike? Do you think powered subwoofers will have enough bass for 2004 GMC Sierra extended cab? So do I think it's going to have enough? I don't know. Okay, technically, yeah. It'll have what it has, right? It'll just do what it does?
Yes.
Is that enough for you? That's the question.
Exactly.
So, you know, we do these Rockford P300s all the time.
Yes. So
sometimes put 2 in.
We have one customer that they didn't want to, you know, take a lot of space. He just wanted a little bit. We put a Rockford P308. And that was very surprised. The customer was very pleasant. Like, oh, this is what I wanted. That's enough for me. So
yeah, but each person is different.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Rob, what's up, buddy?
What's up, sexy beast? How you doing?
I know,
right? Yeah. Ooh. Ah. Okay. Here we go. My rep told me I was literally the only dealer in the area buying, selling, and installing those Kenwood XR600 DSPs. And you're not wrong, because you probably were. We were the only people in our neck of the woods that was doing it as well.
Yeah.
We were so excited about that amplifier. I actually have one that was supposed to come in on Monday, but it's coming in on another day now. You know, it's funny because when you look back at how like, what's it been, like 4 or 5 years now that the amplifier came out?
Kind of.
I mean, it's got to be somewhere in that realm. But you know, back then when we were using that DSP, it was like, this thing is cool. Now it's painful. Well, because we did one a couple months back, and I was just so annoyed with it because it's like, God, this is so basic. It sucks.
But like you said, you know, they came out when that was just like the first ones.
Yeah, and, I mean, it was there again. It was one of those things where we wanted more. We wanted more, and we were hoping for the next one.
And that was for a specific situation. So,
okay, so Dave back from Virginia
What's
had too
Dave?
much to put in one paragraph. It cut me off. Makes sense. It's short. The 2500 was set to network mode, and now I can't get any sound from my Pioneer system. Did he? Okay.
No.
But
blew up.
It didn't blow anything up, except for network mode. So
Yes.
how do you get it out of network mode? You have to do a full system reset, okay?
Unfortunately.
Not press the button. So first things first is you got to make sure that the emergency brake sequence is bypassed. So if it has a micro bypass in it or anybody's version of that, great. It'll unlock itself as soon as it turns on. If you're connected to the foot brake or the handbrake, emergency brake, whatever it is, then on unlocks that, and it gets you into that. So that is the first step. You have to get into the deeper menus. Once you're into that, you go into the menu structure, and you have like the first thing that's like the screwdriver wrench. Okay, go to there, and then you scroll all the way almost to the bottom that says Restore Settings. Okay, you click that, and once you click that, that's going to reboot the radio back to out of the box settings. It'll pop up, and the first thing it's going to say on the screen is standard or network. Select standard, and then you start over, and that's it. That's all you have to do to get it back to non-standard or non-network mode. So once you do that, you have unlocked it. Now you'll have front rear sub again instead of tweeter mid subwoofer, sounding all freaky weird. But that's it. That's the thing. And then you can go in and set your front, your rear, and your crossovers to go with that. And I think we have a video on that too. I know we do. They're all the same. The sequence is the same no matter what the model number is. They haven't changed it. I have Infinity Kappa 6.5 components. I plan to go active. Can you put RTA2 to measure the passive crossovers for tweeter? And does the tweeter have to be connected when measuring pink noise? So what you really need here is the FS of the tweeter. Okay, so somewhere in the instructions, hopefully they've put the FS, it's F little s, of the tweeter. Usually it's something like 1800, 2200, 1500, somewhere in those. Once you get the FS of the driver, then you multiply it by 2, and that'll give you your crossover point at 24 dB like with Riley. So for example, if it's 1600, FS is 1600, that's going to be 3200 at 24 dB like with Riley. And that's really it. The problem with trying to do it with an RTA is, yes, you can do it. You play pink noise, okay? You're going to watch it slope down. Tweeter does have to be connected. So does the mid-range, because if you're measuring a passive crossover, both drivers have to be connected to the passive crossover in order to adequately load the crossover down. If you don't, you're going to get a wrong reading because the ohm load has changed. And if you change the ohm load in a passive crossover, you also change the crossover point. So you'd have to hook up to 6.5, and you'd have to hook up the tweeter. You're playing pink noise, and you're just going to have an area. You know, it's going to be wide, but you'll see it. So at that point, you have to make an educated guess as to what it's actually crossed over at. But yes, you could use it for that. The more resolution you have, what's up, fools? The more resolution you have on the app, the easier it will be to figure out what it is. But the easier way would just be to have the FS of the tweeter, and then you don't have to do any of that nonsense. But technically, yes, you could look at the graph or could look at it actively output and see what it's doing.
Look at that.
Wouldn't be the first time.
5 years now, I still have mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
I
I
mean,
mean, it's been swapped out a couple times just because we had to sell it, and then he gave it back to me. But,
yeah.
Oh, by the way, Ada, Angel, he thinks you're a great guy. You're a great guy.
But you're not.
I know. 2025 Ram Limited. He's going, what is he talking about? 2022 Ram Limited with Alpine. AR2 with the Kenwood 6-channel DSP. No voice, my cell phone calls.
AR2.
So that should have nothing to do with it. It sounds okay. It shouldn't matter, right? Because as long as everything is plugged in properly, that shouldn't do it. It sounds like there might be a volume issue. First thing I call iData. Okay, that's the easiest solution for that.
Yeah.
Is call them up and say, hey, I'm having this problem. Second thing, what I would do first is make sure I have my volume all the way up while I'm on the cell phone. Okay, because the car has source volume control. So like when it's backing up, there's a level control. So a lot of people complain like they lose backup sensors. Well, in the instructions, it tells you how to get those back. You actually have to go and hit a couple buttons, and then you can turn them up through the volume, and you get your backup sensors or your front sensors back. But that's in the instructions. But there's, if you're talking on the phone, yeah. So now the other thing too is you may have the amplifier mapped improperly, okay? Because it's going to try to put the Bluetooth speakers out of the front 2 channels. So if, let's say you set the front 2 channels up as something else, just weird, maybe subwoofer. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. But you have to make sure channels 1 and 2 are actually going to a driver that can reproduce the sound. So like a mid-range or something like that. I mean, that's usually the problem in some cases. Either way, if that doesn't help, I would definitely give them a call because there should be no issues with that.
All right.
Atari or ColecoVision? Oh, Atari. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, Atari was, dude, man. Playing that crappy Pac-Man game back in the 80s or 70s or whatever it was. I have no experience with DD audio.
Right there.
That one. Can an LC5 1300 run 2-component, 2 coaxials, and 2 JL audio subs? So by that, you mean like a 6 and a tweet, a mid-range, or a coaxial in the rear, like left, right, and then 2 subs in the back?
I think it's like a set.
That's what I'm saying. If we're talking a set.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes. 2 subs.
Yes, you can. Not actively, meaning your components won't be active. They will be passive in the front. You'll have to put the passive crossovers in for the tweeter in the mid-range, for sure. But other than that, it's a 5-channel amp. So set of components up front, coaxials in the rear. And now 2 sets of components, meaning 4 mid-range, 4 tweeters. It could still do that because that'll be, as long as it's only 2 ohm, you'll be fine. But you just have to make sure your ohm load is proper. But other than that, you're good. Sega, Nintendo. I think Nintendo is probably the winner.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been around.
Hold on. I pushed the shout out to okay. Any experience or thoughts on audio control widebands? If you're talking about the 2.5,
I'm guessing.
The 3.5 is awesome because it comes in a 2-ohm version, which is really nice. Okay, widebands all pretty much suffer the same thing. They're not tweeters. Okay, so it really doesn't matter whose name on it. The reality is they're not tweeters. So, if you're hoping that it would sound better, because no, it's a wideband. They all sound basically the same, and we know this because we've looked at most of them, and they all perform about the same. You're never happy. Everyone's like, oh man. The 2, and there again, great is subjective. If you're looking for a high frequency response, it's the 2.5. It's not a tweeter. So other than that, they do exactly what they're supposed to.
All right, hang on.
How
difficult
Yep.
it is to set up a center channel on an audio controlled DMA10.
So I'm not going to say this has really nothing to do with audio control. This has to do with pretty much all DSPs. DSPs do not have, most DSPs, audio control is one of them, do not have up mixers. Okay, so retaining a speaker in the center of the dash as an output, sure, it will do that, and you can label it center. It will actually come pre-labeled as center. But that's the extent of it. It's not doing anything magical to make that center channel like your home theater system where it extracts, that center channel track from the recording, because stereo tracks have a left and a right. And the only way to get a center is with some form of up mixing. If you'd like to feel really like, wow, there's a lot to center, read anything by Andy Waymeyer where he mentions center, because that is, a lot of people are, all you got to do is left minus right, right minus left, flip the phase in this, blah, blah. No, it's not. It's a lot harder than that. So, yes, can you use an audio control to get a speaker in the center of your dash? 100%. Can you feed it a left and right signal? Yes, you can. Will it sound like a Dolby mixed center channel? No, it won't. Not at all. But most people's won't either. So, yeah, there's that. But to back that up, just one other thing, like if you're like looking at like an F-150 that doesn't have a BO system, or any other car like my Mustang that has a center channel, it is not an upmix center channel. It's literally just a speaker in the center of the dash. Toyota Tundras that have the center channel speaker, it's a dual voice coil speaker, meaning it takes left and right and plays it in the center of the dash. It's not an upmix speaker anyway. So a lot of centers are just that. They're speakers in the center of the dash, especially in the bigger trucks, to shorten the sound stage so that it doesn't sound like the right speaker is all the way over there 5 feet away. Just kind of
feel the whole entire dash. Yeah.
Have you done any installs on the new gen Tundras? Want to keep stock head unit and change speakers, add sub and amp? It is a non-Bose system. Honestly, I don't know if we've done. I think we have. Don't really pay attention. Those kind of all just do the same. I will tell you this. It's a Toyota. So the easiest thing to do in a Toyota, if you're looking to do amplifiers and all that fun stuff, and you're trying to keep it as simple as possible, the interface, because they don't make one, you're going to want a kicker key lock. That is the kicker key lock. That is the device, the high-level to low-level device that you will use in order to get rid of any of the processing that it's done. Now, if the only thing you want to do is amplify it to make it louder, you're not doing DSP or equalization or anything like that, then fine, don't. There are plugs for it, so you can get, PAC makes a plug, Metro makes a plug now, that'll plug in the speaker harness on the back of that radio. It's nice, it's neat, it's all by itself. It's really cool. So you can use their upmixing and their equalization and just go off to new speakers and amps. It's when you decide that you want to do DSP work and you're going to do like delay of your own. The easiest way to do that is with a key lock, if you don't like understand all pass filters and all that nonsense, because the key lock will strip all of that out for you, put it back to as flat as possible, and then allow you to EQ it the way you want it. As you can see, that's why you don't necessarily want to deal with all of that if you're not going to DSP it, because you will strip away all their equalization and it'll sound kind of flat and boring, which is not really what you want. So you may, though.
You may.
Like 4 to 5 key locks. Yeah. Yeah. Have you guys ever done two sets of coaxials in the front stage? Currently, I have a pair of Kicker CS 4-inch in the dash and CS 6.5s in the doors. Do you anticipate me having any tuning issues? Should I cover up the tweeter on one set of the speakers? Okay, so there's always this. Just change that right now. Think about it. So there's always this, like, am I doing something wrong? Right? Is it right? Is it wrong? And the goals are what we have to look at first off, right? When we're planning to do something, that's where we try to figure stuff out. So you have a set of CS4s. I'm guessing the 4 and the 6 are probably wired together on channel 1 and 2. That's more the problem than anything else, because you have a 4-inch, you have a 6.5, you may have a cap on the 4-inch, but you have no way to level control between the two. All right. So that to me would be the biggest problem, because I want to be able to turn one down, turn one up. Now, the easiest way to do that is either with multi-channel amplifiers and stuff like that. Now, like the Kicker 6-channel amplifier, their Marine 6-channel amplifier, it has a bandpass crossover built into it. The bandpass crossover you could use for your door speakers, and you could remove the tweeter sound from the door speaker. The only reason why you'd want to do that, though, is if you were trying to do some form of time alignment, which with just a basic amplifier, you're not going to do. So there again, it just depends on what the goal is. Now, if you just want a loud front stage where it's like, yeah, no, you can do tweeters in the door and tweeters in the top. It's just going to make it louder. It's when you're trying to do imaging and stuff like that where it could just get crazy. But there again, it's what is the intended goal? Because we do, we get Jeeps in here all the time, and it's like in these open cavity, it's like, I want it loud. Okay, well, the easiest way to do that is put 4 tweeters in the front of the car. And how am I going to do that? Put coaxials here and coaxials there. I want level control still, but I'm going to blast that bitch.
Yeah.
So that's how you do it. We've been doing it for years. Is it wrong? No, but it's whatever the intended purpose is. That's what makes it right or wrong.
Thank you for the 10, man. Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. One more question. What would a good amp be for an L710? Factory radio, right?
This is the factory radio. Yeah, but like
Key 501.
Mm-hmm.
Key 501.
If you keep in the factory,
if you're going to keep the factory radio, the Key 501 would be great for that.
Yep.
Because there again, when you're amplifying highs, it's fine. But most of these radio manufacturers remove all of this. Like they add in high pass filters. And they did it back in 2011. You get just crappy sub signal. You need something to remove it. So we were just talking about the key lock. The key lock is great if you're trying to get back to a flat sound. Subwoofers, really, that's the intended purpose. Is I need to get back to it, not because it's going to be boomy. No, it's because it's all down here. The sub is down there. I need it up. So the Key 500.1 has the key lock built into it that will rescue the sub bass and bring it back up to par with the rest of the system. So that amp, that's the nice thing about the amp. It's a small 500 watt amp, but it'll take 1,000 watts. But when you look at the actual signal and you see all these frequencies missing, and then you put an 800 or 900 watt amp in there that doesn't fix the signal, then all that power is being lost trying to get back to zero. Okay, so you're just losing power. So at the end of the day, even though you have an 800 watt amp, you really only get about 500 watts out of it. Because
have you done any installs on the new generation?
You read that one. You actually, I think, read that one.
No. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one. Help, guys. I just picked up a 2014 Mazda 5
Grand Touring.
Nice. It needs speaker upgrades. I have a 5x7 with a tweeter in the front door. Can I run components without the passive?
Without a passive? No. That's it. No, the passive crossover is what tells the speak. Like, can you run a tweeter without a crossover? No.
You can, but it's not going to be good.
2 seconds. So, no, you got to have the passive crossovers in there to limit the frequency response to those drivers so that they don't play things that they can't play. So, you got to have passive crossovers in there. Now, the cool thing is there are plenty of manufacturers out there that the 5x7 components have what we call the candy bar crossovers, meaning they're little tiny crossovers that go right next to the individual drivers. In some cases, like Focal with their integration series, it's already attached to the tweeter. It's like it's on it. So you just put the tweeter in, capacitor's already there. You don't have to do anything. You just got to hook 2 wires up to it, rock on, baby. You don't have to do anything. Now, Alpine, there are two little candy bar things, little Tootsie Rolls that go in there that have the line. So if you have a tweeter here and a mid bass in the door, that's not a problem. Just look for something that doesn't have the big crossover box. That's the easiest way to do this. But yeah, you got to run the passive crossovers if you're not going to go with amplifier full active. unless you just want to throw your money away, which I feel like some people want to throw their money away. Having to upgrade to an economical commuter car to travel the Southwest. What are the better sedan small SUV for SQ? If I'm going to be spending hours in it, I want to have great sound.
What would you think that would be a good car?
See, okay, as much as I hate the rating of Toyota, I just like Toyota SUVs.
I love the 4Runners.
I love the 4Runner. I like the Highlander's even nice, but it's just a little too feminine for me. But if we're looking small, that's a RAV4.
Okay.
So it's like a RAV4. Still a nice car. We have the Rogue.
Okay, so we talk about sedans, small SUVs. Okay, in sedans, what would you do? Honda Civic?
No,
Honda Civic.
Accord.
Accord.
Accord is nice. Accords sound good. Like,
okay, personally,
mid-base.
I would do.
Accords have always sounded good.
I would do a Toyota Camry because it has it comes with a 3-way.
Oh yeah, you could do the Camry with the JBL system.
And then you can take all that stuff
out. If you don't get it with the JBL system, you can cheaply buy the A-pillars.
And then you can buy the A-pillars if you don't get
the factory A-pillars are really nice. But yeah, no, the Camry's not. That's a good poll. Yeah, I could get down with that.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
And
it sounds good.
Yeah.
We've done a couple nice ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ford Mustang,
It's not an economy car. I don't want to drive Mustang all over the place. That just sounds terrible.
Okay.
Because Sequoia is king. Oh, of course it is, but it's also not a small SUV.
Exactly.
It's a Sequoia. What do you think about running a JL Audio 905 for one side of the car and another one of? This is one of those that I struggle with because to me it really doesn't make any sense.
No, really?
No, it doesn't.
Why?
For one, there's a ton of voltage matching that has to be done, which is totally not necessary. And there again, what are we doing? Are we bridging it? Because now we're doing weird bridging things here. Like I don't know. I don't like left amp, right amp. I've never gotten behind that. To me, it just seems,
okay.
I've thought about it. I've put a lot of thought into it.
We put two 5-channel amplifiers.
Yes, but it's run front and rear and 2 subs.
Yeah. Regardless of the setup,
To me, that setup in my mind works better because it just works better. It makes more sense, okay? Because it's like, okay, so for example, let's say I take a 5-channel and bridge it into a 3-channel, okay? So we've seen some huge power swings, right?
Yeah.
So let's say when I bridge this one, it puts out 100 watts.
Yeah.
Maybe, let's say 220 watts, okay? This one puts out 250 watts. That's 30 watts, okay? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. To me, I like bridging them so that like this one runs in the front, this one runs the rear, and these two do the subs.
Yeah.
That makes more sense to me. And or taking a 5-channel and putting one on each door, like we did in that car. We bridged the 5-channel and put you channel 1 and 2, channel 3 and 4. And then we took the other 5-channel and put tweeter, rear, and then they both ran the subs.
Yeah.
To me that makes more sense.
Yeah, sure.
We did that, but it's because we sold the client a 5-channel instead of a 6-channel. There you go. On a passive component set that is rated for 150 watts RMS, how much power actually goes to the tweeter and how much actually goes to the mid? So the 150 watts obviously is the maximum rated power for the crossover, not necessarily for the speakers. What each speaker is getting individually is going to vary because it depends on the ohm load of the speaker. It also depends on what resistors are put inside of the crossover, whether you have it at 0 plus or minus 3, it's going to change. So there's a lot that's going on here. And there's not a good way to test this. And let me explain why. So let's say, for example, if you were to play like a 3,000 hertz or 4,000 hertz test tone through a crossover, obviously without the speaker connected, you're not going to get an accurate reading because you'll catch it on fire. That's really what's going to happen. Now, if you kind of want to get the ratio, meaning kind of figure out like, is it 2-to-1, is it 3-to-1? That's actually a more easy thing to do in that if you play pink noise and you pick any arbitrary volume, just set the radio to 25, play pink noise, set your digital multimeter to AC, set it to AC, and read the voltage output of the tweeter side of the crossover, read the voltage output of the mid-range sides of the crossover, okay? And then that'll give you your two numbers, and you can use math to figure out what your ratio is, meaning this is getting, let's say, double the power that this is getting. Or they're both getting the same amount of power. But that is also going to be a lower number, meaning it's not going to be like, you know, what is actually getting to it, because tweeters only get a couple watts by the
No, that's not true.
So this would be, you know, the when you're trying to say like, oh, does my tweeter get 50 watts? No,
100, 200. Let's put 300.
Yeah. So that's why you can't play like, you know, those test tones, because you'll just catch the tweeter on fire.
You're just killing me.
So, but that'll give you that will give you the ratio, so you can kind of figure out, you know, from there, if I put X amount of wattage into it, this is where it's going. And that would be the easiest thing if you're just dying to know that number. You know, that'll give you a ratio of power. I've never done it because I don't care.
Javier, ¿son diferentes tipos de sonido en cada bocina, en cada componente? Depende de lo que tú estés buscando, definitivamente, pero los dos son buenos. Depende de lo que tú busques.
Use the tooth. Most people just call it dental floss. I mean, if you just want to call it tooth floss, I mean, you know, one tooth going down.
Dental.
But dental floss analogy.
All right, so hang on. I had this one that is, there you go.
100 watts of tweeters. Mary Lou's just being funny. If you have multiple small ground wires for a device, i.e. mini DSP amps, 14 gauge, 18 gauge, coming to a distribution block accepting 4 gauge, and can you mash all of the incoming wires into one ferrule and use it? Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, do it all the time. Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, they actually make ferrules specifically for that. So, like, we have ferrules for 16 gauge and 12 gauge that you can put.
It's a dual.
It's a dual ferrule, so you can put two 16 gauge wires, and it's an oblong. So that the end of it, instead of it being round, it's oblong. So you can put both wires in and grip it. Oblong.
Oblong in español.
Yeah, amigo. But yeah, no, all the time. Like, I'll take, you know, if I got a bunch of 18 gauges coming in, and I'll put one ring terminal on them and ground the bitch. Because that's a way better way.
Wow.
Well,
just
I mean,
straight up, just ground that.
Well, all right. Okay. Look at those power wires on the battery yesterday. They had like 10 little ring terminals stacked on top. You could have cut all those off, put one 8 gauge.
Believe me, I was about to do it, but it's like, no.
Yeah, it's not ours. We don't want to. Yeah, it's not ours. But yeah, no, by all means, please just shrink it up, man. Get it to one, call it a day.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
All right, car gift is saying, hold on, we'll get back to car gift. Less 3 dB per octave, meaning half power, 150. Yeah. Okay. Therefore, electrically speaking. There you go.
Electrically.
Yeah. Speaking. What you recommend for a Dodge Charger with the Bang and quality mid speakers?
Big Bang.
Big Bang. Quality mid-range. It's a 6x9.
Yeah.
So put a 6x9 in there. There again, a really popular affordably priced speaker that we put in those is the 6903s from Kenwood. KFCX 6903. It comes with a 3.5-inch coaxial, 69-inch mid-bass. For the average build in a Chrysler product, that sounds great. You know, put some power on it, go to town. We like to do it active, meaning 4 channels for the front, 2 for the mid-bass, 2 for the tweeters. That plays a lot to do with it, okay? Because everybody wants to put 120 watts to the front. It would probably be louder if you put 60 to each speaker than 120 watts to both of them. I know you're going, what? It would. And it would sound better because you'd have the control, and that's the key. The key to better sound is control. Outside of that, there's plenty of component sets that are very expensive that will give you that. But it just depends. It depends what you're going for. It's a hard question to ask.
Okay, so I think that's just a shirt. The key of better sound is control.
The key to better sound is control.
That's what you just say.
Yeah. Well, it's true. I speaketh the truth.
No, not true.
The key to better sound is control.
Nobody has control. That's the reason why we have so many blown speakers. No.
Read it for me. I'm looking. I'm reading something else over here.
2021 Jetta base factory system. What will be your suggestions for a complete upgrade other than the kicker key? I have the installed.
So it's a factory-based system, 2021 Jetta. The first thing I check is some of the factory-based systems you can still do a DSR1 in. So you can still do iData into those. So that'd be the first thing we do is we check iData to see if the 2021 is integratable with the DSR1. If the 2021 is not upgradable to DSR1, I'm still getting a kicker, getting a key lock to put on those front two channels so I can get a good sound output. Next thing is do I need to retain my rear channels? And if I do, I'm getting two key locks. I'm getting one for front, one for rear, because that's important. If those are the only channels I have coming out of the radio, so like if it's a base model radio, front, rear, and I'm putting two key locks in it if there's no AR compatibility for it. If there is AR compatibility, I know I said DSR1 because I always forget. I could just go with an Arc Audio Blackbird and be done with it. Have 8 channels of DSP power and out to and up to it's 10 channel DSP. So it's an 8 channel power DSP amp which you could still do. But that's where I'm at. So I don't know if I answered the question. Hold on. I was reading this and I wanted to. All right. Hey guys, happy Saturday. Massive Audio Hippos. Hippos? Or Hippos or Sumos for bass builds in your opinion?
I have no idea what are those.
Hippos? They're those cool things that hang out in Africa and eat people.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, Hippos is an awesome game. It's Sumos. Yeah. Sumos are the
Sumos are the one that is like, yeah. I prefer those.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
So I mean, I think what he's saying is, what is the big dog?
Yeah, but I never heard them. I never seen them. Why would I want to make an opinion on something?
Okay, so okay. To me, if somebody asks us like, "Hey, I always refer to Bob Gately because I've heard his stuff. I've seen. Yeah,
but it's in your opinion, right?
My opinion is to
your opinion. What do you think?
So my opinion is ask Bobby.
Okay.
Because if to me, I don't have an opinion. Yeah. I don't know enough to have one. So I go, who you need to talk to? You need to talk to Bob Gately. Yeah. Because if anyone's gonna build the biggest bitch baddest thing on the block, it's that guy. You know?
Who other one is an SPL guy like crazy?
There again, I'm not in that world, so when I want to be in that world, that's where I go. Now, Kicker obviously has the L7T Solo, whatever the hell it is.
The Solo X.
The Solo X. And we know everyone is doing those builds right now because Kicker's just like, hey, you should build something. So
I think you should do like a 2.8. Like 2.8.
Yeah, but those days are gone. Like making really badass single stuff, that's gone.
It's not gone.
Wait a minute, hold on. I just want to put this. I just want to put it up there because I just want. Yes, Dean is right,
dude, man. Just
I mean, it happens very oddly, but it happens. Yeah. I mean, having the best thing is when Haley says that. 2021 Bronco with B&O. Already have a key 200.4 and a 501. Can I use a KISS load and go straight into no? On the front would no. Still no. We're all no. Okay, so 2021 Bronco with BO. Please stop. Don't do anything. First thing, KISS load will not work in that car. What you need is an Amp Pro Ford, what is it, FD31, something like that, FD41. You need the Amp Pro for BO.
Yeah.
Because this is the easiest upgrade in the world to do. You go to the back, you unplug the amplifier, you plug the Amp Pro into it. If you don't like amp, get the Mobridge. I don't think you can find a Zen A to B anymore, but Mobridge also makes an A to B adapter. you're in a wonderful spot because you can easily get a set of preamps out of your factory amplifier. That is what you do in that car, okay? Because you're trying to put a key into there. 200.4. 200.4 has a DSP. It has an acoustical DSP. You have to fix that signal. There is not 2 channels out of that BO amplifier that you could hook that up to get a full range signal. It's an active system, meaning the speakers in the top of the dash are on one channel, the speakers in the bottom of the dash are on another channel. The rears are on a channel. The sub is on a channel. If it has a center, that is on a channel. Those will not work with a key lock. Like, I wouldn't even sell you a key with this particular system just because the factory is doing it and you're already experiencing all these things. So, kind of scary. But if you went directly into the 200.4 with channels 1 and 2, and let's say the bottom 3 and 4, that uses that amplifier as an SB amplifier. Okay, it sucks. It is a nasty, crappy sounding amplifier, which is the easiest way to say it. The best way to do it is with the BO adapter. Plain and simple. It's ridiculous. What do you got?
Oh, somebody says
Paul is expanding the retail shop with a move. More details to come. Yeah, so I know another guy that said go with kicker. I don't know what that meant. So as far as the retail thing goes with awesome, hope DNF get bigger bay during the transition. This is not changing at all. Okay, we're not moving the retail store. So in our plaza, we've talked about it before. We have one building at the far end of the plaza that is our stock room. Then we have the 5-star retail store, and then we have the install bay. And we want to consolidate the stock room and the retail store into one location because it sucks. We had a sign company that we used to get our plastic from down located just past us. So between us and them is a barber shop that we have. That's where we always hear the music playing in the background. So we're moving the retail store and the stockroom down to this, which is a bigger facility. The hope is that we'll actually have a demo room that Fran and I can use to demo things for people, which would be really nice because right now we can't and it sucks. So it's on it's in the cards, so to speak. Right now, we're just trying to get everything moved. Yeah. So our free time has been taken up with that. Right now, it's nothing to look at. So, but we have to. So we have a ton of stuff we have to do between now and so we leave next week to go off to Mobile Solutions to do the Folk Moscone glading class, and we're there from Thursday till Tuesday. So that's going to be a big trip. Yeah. And then we're back for like a week and a half, and then we go out to SEMA. Yes. And we're going to be there with Rockford, which ought to be really fun. More to come. We'll talk about that when we get back from our Orca trip. So in the few days that we have to move the store. Yeah. So it's been quite hectic for sure. What you do?
I don't know. There's something went wrong. That's my computer.
I was gonna say that's totally your computer. So, anyways, that's kind of what's going on there. Once we get things straightened out over there, then we'll kind of show you guys what's going on, and give you an idea of what to expect from that side of things. Right now, there's literally we moved our displays out of the store to the showroom. They're not hooked up. We have to rebuild them all. That was fun yesterday. Yeah, that was a lot of painful stuff. Just past the Gangster Barbershop. Yes, Christian, just past that. So anyways, I know I put the Moscone America up there, and we never got to talk about it. That is the new 8 to 10 and the 6 to 10. The difference between those two is 2 channels of power. So they're both 6 channels of input, 2 channels of DSP output. 2 channels of DSP output. But the difference is the 8 to 10 has 8 channels of internal power. It still just has 6 channels of input and the output. So they're the same amps, just 2 extra channels of power built into one, which is really nice. Makes things sound really good. Also, for those of you that are in industry, we got some bad news today. One of the things we're going to be doing while out at Mobile Solutions is doing a build for a good friend, Todd Ramsey. Todd Ramsey, for those of you who've ever been to Master Tech Expo, was always there. He was the guy walking around, make sure people knew what they were doing. This past year, he was scooting around on a scooter, making sure everyone knew what he was doing. A lot of people didn't know he's been pretty sick. He has had cancer, and it was not a good kind. Not that any cancer is a good kind, but he, and let me pull up this picture here. This is a picture of him and his wife, and he lost his battle with cancer yesterday. So sadly, the industry has lost a good friend of ours. I've had plenty of long conversations with Todd. Anyone that knows Todd knows that if you start a conversation with Todd, you're taking it all the way to the end.
Nice that, man. But he was a really good guy, you know, helping everyone and trying to make sure.
Oh, he was great too.
Right,
yeah,
so.
He was a great guy. He was always there to help. So we lost him. It's gonna be pretty sad, but I think we're, you know, it was not a fun thing. But we found out yesterday, so kind of sucks. We're still gonna be doing the mods to his car because we got a hell of a team that's coming out. Maybe his wife will appreciate it. But yeah, so that kind of sucked. We'll probably talk about it again more. But anyways, to change things up a bit, have y'all worked with Herz? And if so, what do you think about the product?
Oh, see, now we're talking.
Now we're talking. Yes, we are actually a Herz electromedia dealer. So Herz is comprised, Electromedia is comprised of Audison and Herz. I like to say Audison is the beer and wine, and Herz is Audison is the cheese and wine, and Herz is the beer and pretzels.
I mean, listen, I don't know, but
it is. Herz is just more designed for the rock and roll, here we go kind of guy. You know, you have the Millies.
Had the Miller Legends.
Yeah, but it's not the same as a Voce. You know, Voce is more smooth and refined, and you know, Herz is more your speed. That was actually Fernando's first favorite speaker.
Yeah.
Only because he'd never really heard anything amazing before, and so when we did our first set,
he was like, love.
"Oh my god!" It's totally his first love. Yeah. A lot of nice products. The Millie stuff is impressive. The subwoofers are phenomenal. Great normal size woofers that do well in small enclosures. Like unbelievably well in small enclosures. High-end product for sure. The DSP marine stuff is really nice. They have the new small DSP, the micro DSP that they have is really cool. So yeah, they got a lot of nice
Herz
stuff.
has a lot of stuff, and if you're looking for an SPL stuff, they have SPL show.
Yeah,
that
expensive speaker by the pound.
But they sound nice.
They do sound nice. Those tweeters are really nice. Like if I'm being forced to do loudspeakers, I'm doing those. Yeah, because that's what we've done in the past. Like, I want loudspeakers. I'm like, all right, you're buying some SPL shows then.
That's right.
Yes, bro. Totally sad news. I know. A roving reporter.
Yeah, man, it's just sad. Definitely.
Yes, the I think it's more than that. I think it's 107 dB. It's either 107 or 103 dB on the Super Tweeter.
107.
It's 107.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Because they don't mix well with a lot of other drivers.
Dude, I was like, oh my god, please turn it down.
I've been looking about ground zero drivers and cannot find the TS parameters with full frequency response graphs. Where can I find that, and who can I contact to get it? Yeah, you're probably not going to find any of that stuff from a lot of manufacturers anymore because they just don't publish that, which is sad. Swedish Peter probably has them, and that's not his real name, so I can't.
His name is Peter, but
his name is Peter.
Swedish Peter.
But it's not Swedish Peter. You know, have you tried looking over on the German site? And if you have, there's probably a contact me pay portion on the German site. They all speak English, so don't be afraid to send them an email asking the question if you can get these things from them. I just honestly don't know if they have that information that they can share with people. So, yeah. All right, guys, that is the show. We'd like to thank you so much for playing along with us today. Hey, if you're interested in finding some cool products such as, the tools we use in our videos, you can head over to DNF Tool Drawer. That's right. DNF Tool Drawer is a place you can go to find all our cool tools. Earlier in the show, someone asked, hey, can I do this with the IRTA too? Yes, you can. A lot of you guys, this is the tool you need. It's electrical 2-channel RTA. It has changed Christian's life. He now is an expert in all things DSP related. And it all started with purchasing the IRTA2. It's made him a better man. If you don't know what one is, head over there, check out some of the videos on what you can use it for. And of course, now we have another one, which is to look at the signals coming from a crossover.
Yes.
We're going to have to make that video now. Also, for those of you that are thinking about going to MasterTech Expo, that's right, you're thinking about it going, man, I really think I should go. If you go now and register, that's right, hurry, don't wait, you can get a discount. Early bird pricing until the end of October. It's going to come before you know it. Apparently there's also maybe a giveaway.
Small price.
Small prize
just
for taking part.
Do it now.
So, hey, do it before the end of the year. I would do it. Get the discount because he's only doing it once. This is the only time this is ever discounted. It's just a promo to start it out. DNF Swag is a place you go and find all the cool clothes that we wish we could wear, but we don't. I don't know.
We wish.
Yeah, we wish. Yeah. We'd like to thank our
sponsors.
Thank you. Audio Control, as always, and our good friends at Focal, Moscone, and Gladen for being part of the show and having cool stuff for us to talk about. And we'd like to thank all of you for spending your Saturday afternoon with us.
Thank you,
guys. It means a lot.
See you guys on Monday. Yes. Another Q&A.
Yeah, Monday. Monday's fun. Monday's fun day. Ooh, yeah.
Monday, fun day? That doesn't sound right. It's never been.
It's always fun day. No. I mean, yeah.
But
you guys,
anyway,
be good.
Bye, guys.